Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a really fascinating resource for dungeon masters, maybe looking for their next compelling one-shot adventure idea for a D&D game.
That's right. Yeah, we've got the details on a specific concept presented in our source material. It's titled The Village in the Mist.
Okay.
And our mission really is to unpack this idea, sort of extract its core design principles, and figure out what makes it tick so you, the listener, can potentially use it or adapt it at your own table.
Think of this as getting a guided tour of a ready-to-run adventure framework. We're pulling out the key components, the structure, the characters, the potential outcomes, just to give you that shortcut to being well-informed.
And the hook here is immediate and pretty evocative. You've got this seemingly peaceful mountain village that suddenly finds itself cut off, trapped within a strange, unnatural mist.
Oh, okay.
And people are vanishing without a trace. And the finger of blame points to a long-dead wizard and his curse.
Right.
Okay, let's start with the high-level view from the source material then. The Village in the Mist is designed as a one-shot, right?
Yeah.
Meaning it's built to be played in basically one session.
Exactly. It's scaled for, 3 to 5 players. Ideally with characters around level 4 to 6.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot where characters have some interesting abilities but aren't, world-shatteringly powerful yet, and the source targets a playtime of about 3 to 5 hours.
Perfect for wrapping up a mystery in one go.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out immediately, I think, is how it aims to blend different play styles. It's not just like a dungeon crawl or purely social.
No, the design incorporates investigation, exploration, significant role-play opportunities, and, combat when necessary.
Right.
At its core, though, the mystery is driven by that spectral mist and the disappearances. The locals firmly believe this is the work of Elendor.
The wizard.
The wizard, yeah.
Yeah.
The one who supposedly met a grim fate beneath the village after being betrayed. His spirit, they fear, is seeking vengeance. So what's the actual experience like for players when they first arrive in this cursed place, this village called Velmir? What kind of scene does the source set?
It immediately leans into the eerie and desolate. You arrive to find a crumbling temple, practically being reclaimed by nature, vines creeping all over it.
And the rest of the village tells a similar story. Decline, maybe abandonment.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Empty homes, windows boarded up. It feels isolated and kind of watched.
Yeah.
Crucially, though, the source doesn't leave the players entirely alone. It populates the village with 4 specific NPCs, each described as having their own secrets.
Okay, so they're potential guides or maybe obstacles.
Or sources of information, yeah. And the source provides some great examples of the immediate rumors or hooks the players might encounter right when they arrive. Things designed to pull them into the mystery.
Like what?
Like the desperate plea, the mist took my brother, he vanished in his sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, but chillingly effective.
Yeah, definitely. Or the more cryptic, unsettling lines like hearing about a madman who speaks in riddles. He says Elendor is listening.
Right, that instantly adds a layer of psychological unease.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the classic ominous warning. A cursed tomb lies under the village. No one who's entered has returned.
That's practically ringing the adventure bell, isn't it?
Exactly. These details, they work together to establish the tone, isolated, mysterious, genuinely threatening, right from the moment players step into the mist.
Okay. Now, building on that atmosphere, the source puts a significant focus on these 4 key NPCs you mentioned. Sounds like they aren't just quest givers.
No, not at all. Their personalities and secrets are really interwoven into the mystery itself.
So who are they? Tell us about them.
Okay, first there's Old Marin. He's labeled the Mad Prophet. He's a blind, barefoot elder, which is striking enough.
Okay.
But he also has these glowing blue eyes.
Wow. And the source gives him a really distinct quirk, right? He speaks only in rhymes.
Yeah, unsettling rhymes that are said to foreshadow events and subtly point towards the location of the hidden catacombs. There's an example rhyme provided. When the mist turns red and bells do chime, run, child, for you're out of time.
Chilling. Gives you a strong sense of the dread he embodies. And the insight there for a DM is how, a seemingly simple NPC can hold crucial clues disguised as just atmospheric flavor.
Exactly. Then we have Sarah Fernhollow, the grieving acolyte. She's a former temple priestess, kind-hearted, but clearly struggling with the trauma of everything that's happening.
Right, so her key role is providing context, maybe a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. She believes Elendor's spirit can be redeemed, actually. So she offers players a potential non-combat path, She gives sanctuary, shares what she knows of Elandor's history.
Providing the why behind the curse. She represents that possibility of empathy, maybe, in the face of fear.
Right. Contrasting with her is Bram Dern, called the Butcher Who Hunts Shadows. He's described as gruff, heavily scarred. Apparently lost his daughter to the mist.
Ah, okay. So he embodies the village's fear and anger, especially towards magic, I bet.
Yeah, the source notes his distrust, but also the potential for him to become an ally if players can, earn his respect or maybe help him process his grief somehow.
And he guards a key area, too. Adds another layer.
That's right, possibly preventing easy access to the catacombs, adding another layer of interaction beyond just getting information.
Interesting. Who's the last one?
Finally, adding a touch of potential mischief are Tala Nibs, the twin tricksters. They're young gnome siblings hiding out, maybe in the abandoned windmill.
And their claim is that they stole a piece of the mist.
Yeah. Wonderfully weird and memorable, right? The source reveals they hold valuable items, a minor magical trinket, and critically, a crypt key.
Ah, but they won't just hand them over, I'm guessing.
Nope. They want something in return. Classic negotiation or minor quest setup reminds you that not all valuable clues are just lying around for the taking.
Yeah, makes sense.
The brilliance of these characters, I think, is how they offer differing viewpoints on the same central problem, the mist in Elandor. Merrin gives cryptic prophecy, Sira offers hope and history, Bram represents grounded fear and loss, and the twins hold tangible keys behind these playful obstacles.
So a DM can use their conflicting information to make players really work to piece together the truth.
Exactly.
So with these pieces in place, the eerie setting, the core mystery, these key NPCs, how does the source suggest players actually go about solving the curse of the village in the mist? What's the investigation pathway look like?
It's designed as a sort of layered discovery process. First, players need to actively gather clues. This involves talking to those NPCs, yes, but also exploring the physical locations.
Like searching the ruined temple?
Right, or maybe finding hints in the library, like torn pages from Elandor's journal.
Oh, those journal pages sound like a classic and really effective way to deliver exposition piece by piece. Rewards players who explore thoroughly.
Definitely. And once they've gathered enough clues, they need to figure out the next big step. Finding the actual hidden catacombs where Elandor is believed to rest.
Where might that be?
Well, the source suggests the entrance could be concealed in a couple of places, maybe beneath the temple itself, or perhaps hidden near the forest well.
And naturally, it's not just wide open.
Oh, no. It's protected by magical traps and creatures that the mist has spawned. Finding this entrance isn't just about location. It might require using the clues found earlier, maybe even something learned from one of the NPCs.
Now, here's an element the source mentions that I find particularly compelling. It offers a really unique DM tool, this optional encounter where players can enter Elandor's mind.
Yes. This is a fascinating design choice. The idea is that through, say, a cursed mirror or maybe a specific dream-linked book, players could be pulled directly into Elandor's memories or consciousness.
And the insight here is that this isn't described as like a combat encounter, right? It's a chance for players to witness Elandor's story.
Exactly. His betrayal, his descent into loneliness, the emotional pain that festered into this curse. It's pure role play and narrative delivery, but delivered interactively. And the source emphasizes why this encounter is significant. It can profoundly influence the final confrontation. If players understand Elandor's suffering, his perspective, they might approach him with empathy rather than just, hostility.
That's a powerful way for a DM to connect player understanding directly to potential outcomes. I like that.
Me too.
Which brings us to that climactic moment. Confronting Elandor's spirit deep within the tomb, the source outlines the potential resolutions then.
It does. There are two primary paths presented. The party can attempt to appease him. This might involve using the truth they've uncovered about his past, showing empathy perhaps born from that mind meld encounter.
Or maybe a ritual.
Or potentially performing a ritual if they found the necessary components or clues, yeah.
Or option 2.
Or, if negotiation or empathy isn't the party's strength, or maybe if their attempts just fail, it can escalate into combat. They can fight and attempt to destroy his vengeful ghost.
And the source makes it clear that these different approaches lead to different outcomes for Velmeyer and the players themselves. It gives a framework for rewards and consequences.
Right. If they succeed in appeasing him, the resolution feels more, I guess, hopeful. The mist clears, the village begins to recover, symbolizing the lifting of the curse at its source.
And players might get something cool.
Yeah, they might earn unique magic items, or maybe even uncover a clue about a larger thread beyond this village, hinting at future adventures.
Okay. But conversely, if they fail to appease him or just resort to combat.
Then the outcome is bleaker. The mist might only recede temporarily, Illandor's spirit could potentially return later, and the village basically remains trapped in its cursed state. It reinforces that, brute force isn't always the optimal solution.
Makes sense. And the source does mention some potential loot players might uncover. Fitting for a wizard's tomb, I imagine.
Oh yeah, things like Elandor's Dreamstaff, described as a rare magic item, maybe a forgotten grimoire filled with lore or spells.
The crypt key, maybe?
Could be the crypt key itself if they found another way in, or even a map to some other hidden ruin somewhere else in the world. Lots of potential hooks there.
Right. Now, beyond the adventure structure itself, the source offers specific tips for dungeon masters running this. These sound like golden nuggets on how to make the adventure impactful.
Absolutely. One key tip is using sensory details, sound and lighting, or just vivid descriptions to really amplify that eerie tone, making the mist feel like a character itself, oppressive and disorienting.
Good one.
Another is about clue delivery. Drop clues gradually. Don't just info dump. Reward player curiosity and exploration. And the source specifically highlights rewarding empathy shown towards the NPCs, leaning into that social pillar.
And I think the most crucial DM tip highlighted, maybe, is to truly let the player's choices shape the ending. The adventure seems designed with genuine branches redemption or ruin based on how they interact with Elandor and the whole situation.
Totally. It reinforces player agency as a core part of the design.
Yeah.
These tips combined show that while the structure provides a solid foundation, the success of running the village in the mist really relies on the DM leaning into atmosphere, rewarding player initiative, and allowing meaningful consequences for their actions, especially their approach to, understanding the antagonist versus just defeating them.
So that's the Village in the Mist concept from our source material. A really well-rounded template, it sounds like, for a mystery and character-driven one-shot for DMs looking for their next game idea.
Yeah, it provides a clear setup, memorable and functionally distinct NPCs, a logical but still non-linear investigation path, and a climactic choice that has tangible consequences. It blends exploration, social interaction, and combat pretty effectively within that 3 to 5 hour window.
It leaves you with a powerful thought for your own games, doesn't it? How might the choices players make in truly understanding the source of conflict, the villain, the curse, the problem, how might that change the entire nature of the resolution compared to simply treating it as something to be destroyed?
What secrets or forgotten pain might truly lie beneath the surface of any mysterious location, waiting not just for a fight, but perhaps for a moment of understanding.